anybody have like all the emails that they can email something to everybody?
Probably. I mean, I could forward you.
I have a junk, like I have stuff on there I need to like
I could forward you an email from
everybody.
everybody. I reply also with Dr. Stromberg's sends us.
Yes.
Then you can include you.
Yes. That should work. My email is JWLA225. Any luck with the email?
Yeah, I'm getting it. I tried to just copy everyone's name and send it to you as an attachment, but it didn't work very well.
Oh, okay.
I'm redoing it.
Okay.
LA.
Yeah.
I was clear on the board on my seat.
Oh, that's all right. My handwriting's pretty terrible, so. There it is. Thank you, Matt, or Ryan. Right? Yeah. All right, I just sent it. Once somebody gets it, just let me know. Cool, thanks. Okay. Well, I don't know if Arnie told you or not that he wouldn't be here today.
Yeah,
He's in court. Jury duty. Maybe I should say that, not court. It sounds like I did something wrong. So I had talked to you guys earlier this semester, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the last time I was in here, I talked a little bit about classification and regression trees. and it's kind of a current machine learning thing that a lot of companies are using, sometimes depending on the problem, to solve issues in their businesses. And sometimes researchers use them as well. Another one that I mentioned was neural networks, and these have been in the news a lot recently, and they were very, very popular right now, especially amongst companies like Google and Facebook, to do predictive modeling. And so we're going to look at those a little bit today, and I hope you guys can learn a little bit about them. I tried to keep the tone down a little bit, and that way it's more of a light introduction rather than trying to go deeper into this. So has anybody heard of neural networks before? Yeah? Has anybody ever done a neural network before? Does anybody know anything about neural networks besides the name? No? Okay, cool. A little bit? Okay. A little bit. Okay, so what is a neural network? Well, according to the guy who invented them, it's a computing system made of a number of simple, highly interconnected processing elements which process information by their dynamic state response to external inputs. So, for me, what a neural network is really best described by a picture. So that's why I included it here. And this is a picture of a neural network. And basically, what a neural network is just like any kind of statistical modeling problem, you always have a set of inputs, right, like x's, and you have an output. And you're trying to figure out how these inputs are related to the outputs. And neural networks get their name by how they are, how they were kind of designed. And it's supposed to be designed, and this is kind of not true, but it's kind of folklore now with neural networks, is that they're supposed to model how your brain works. You have these neurons, and they're all connected, and then your synapses, and blah, blah, blah. But that really is more kind of make-believe and made up than it is true. But basically what a neural network does is it has a set of X's that connect to these things called hidden layers, and then the hidden layers connect with another hidden layer, and so forth and so on until you get some predictions. Basically, you kind of get the idea that the X's are connected to one another in some form or fashion, right? And then those connections are then somehow connected to one another, and then those connections are somehow connected to the output. And how they're all connected, we don't know, but we want the computer to hopefully figure out for us what these connections should be, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about how you get these connections and how you set this up. We'll also do an example. The other important thing is that not all neural networks have two hidden layers. Not all neural networks have three inputs. Not all neural networks have one output. Not all neural networks have four hidden layers. They can be dynamic. They can be whatever you want. And that's good and bad. And we'll talk about why. So let's talk about all the parts of a neural network. And I'll refer back to the picture many times. So the input layer. Again, think of these as your X's. These are your explanatory variables, right? And those are on the far left hand here. There are three of them in this model. There's a hidden layer, or a set of hidden layers. These are a set of hidden nodes connected by a preceding hidden layer's nodes or inputs. And a hidden node is a linear combination of weighted inputs or weighted preceding nodes. So basically what happens is, here's a hidden layer, and each one of these four things are called a hidden node. Okay? And how you get a hidden node is you take the inputs, you multiply them by some weight, between 0 and 1, or between something and something, whatever it decides, and then it adds those inputs times the weights up together across the board. Okay? And you might think, wow, okay. So let me back up. You guys have been talking about regression methods in here. You've probably seen Arnie draw something like this on the board. Before, I'm hoping? Something like that? right? This is some X variables here, and this is some response. Well, really what you've been doing, and what neural networks are doing, is they're doing the same thing. If we have one hidden layer, so let's remove this one for a second, what are we doing? We're in a model where we have two inputs, right? X1 and X2, and they're connected to one another. We add them together, right? To get this thing here, we'll call it hidden layer 1. And we multiply each one of them. We multiply X1 by beta 1. We multiply X2 by beta 2, right? We then add them together to get beta 1 X1 plus beta 2 X2, right? And that's this part. So what's the only part we're missing? The intercept part, right? Well, guess what? Neural networks have an intercept part that they add to each one of the nodes that they call a bias. And those get added into every node. So each one of these nodes is a linear model. That's really all it is. Linear model 1, linear model 2, linear model 3, linear model 4. And then from there, what they do is they take the linear models and they use those to make another set of combinations, but with the answers that the linear models gave. Okay? So from here, what we do, so we end up getting beta naught plus